If you're seeing me for the first time, welcome to my channel where I bring you new stories every week to keep you up all night long. Tonight, I'm going to tell you a story that will keep you awake. A story so strange, mysterious, and haunting that it feels almost unreal, but it's completely true. This is the story of Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370, a modern airplane with hundreds of lives on board, which vanished without a trace, leaving the world baffled and desperate for answers. It was March 8, 2014. Flight MH370, a Boeing 777, took off from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, at 12:41 a.m., bound for Beijing, China. On board were 239 people, passengers from 14 different countries and 12 crew members. Among them were families traveling together, business people returning from work, children going on holidays, and flight attendants beginning their shifts. Everything seemed normal, routine, even mundane. The passengers buckled their seatbelts, flight attendants performed their checks, and the engines hummed steadily as the plane ascended into the night sky. But something was about to happen that no one could have predicted. Just over an hour into the flight, air traffic controllers noticed something unusual. The plane had stopped transmitting its location via the transponder. At first, authorities assumed it was a technical issue, a minor glitch, easily fixed. But then, they realized that the aircraft was no longer responding at all. The transponder had gone silent, and Flight MH370 was effectively invisible. Military radar later picked up the plane flying far off its intended route, heading into a vast, empty part of the Indian Ocean. But no one on the ground knew why. There were no distress calls, no messages from the pilots, nothing. Just a sudden, complete disappearance. Families waiting in Beijing and Kuala Lumpur began to panic. Airports were thrown into chaos. Emergency protocols were activated, but the plane had vanished without leaving a single clue behind. The search began immediately. Aircraft and ships scoured the South China Sea, combing the skies and waters for any sign of the plane. As hours passed, hope began to fade. Each passing hour felt like an eternity for families and loved ones. The world watched, riveted, as this modern technological marvel seemed to have simply disappeared. Investigators pieced together what little evidence they had. The last satellite communication suggested the plane continued flying for several hours, far from its intended path. How could this be? The Boeing 777 is one of the most advanced, safest airplanes in the world. Its systems are designed to prevent exactly this type of disappearance. Yet somehow, Flight MH370 had vanished completely, leaving nothing behind but unanswered questions. As the days turned into weeks, the mystery only deepened. Pieces of debris began washing up on remote islands and coastlines thousands of miles from the flight path. Some of the debris was confirmed to be from MH370, yet the main fuselage and the black boxes, the crucial evidence that could explain what happened, were never recovered. Despite massive international search efforts involving dozens of countries, hundreds of ships, aircraft, and satellite experts, the plane's location remains officially unknown. The theories surrounding the disappearance are almost endless. Some believe the pilot deliberately diverted the plane to a secret location. Others argue that catastrophic mechanical failure caused the plane to crash into the ocean silently and quickly. There are speculations of hijacking, terrorism, or even secret military involvement. And then the more extreme theories: alien abduction, remote mind control, or some kind of experimental technology gone wrong. Every theory has its believers, and each adds to the enduring mystery. Imagine the terror of the passengers. Families and children sitting in their seats, unaware that the plane had veered miles off course. Did they know something was wrong? Did the pilots remain calm, trying to fix the problem? Or was there a sudden disaster that left no time to react? These human stories are just as haunting as the disappearance itself. Every passenger had a life, a story, a family waiting for them, and those stories ended in uncertainty. The scale of the search was unprecedented. The Indian Ocean, vast and deep, became the final frontier. Advanced sonar equipment, underwater robots, and satellite imagery were all deployed, scanning thousands of square miles of ocean floor. Investigators meticulously analyzed every possible clue, from satellite pings to floating debris, hoping to reconstruct the final hours of the flight. Yet every lead seemed to vanish, swallowed by the vast, unforgiving ocean. Even years later, the disappearance of MH370 continues to fascinate and terrify. Governments, aviation experts, and conspiracy theorists still debate what happened. Books, documentaries, and countless articles have attempted to explain it, but no theory has been universally accepted. The flight's disappearance remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in modern history. Flight MH370 reminds us of how fragile life can be and how, even in an age of incredible technology, some events remain beyond our understanding. A plane with hundreds of people on board vanished from radar without leaving a single definitive clue. Families are left without closure. The world is left with questions that may never be answered. So, what do you think really happened to Flight MH370? Did it end up on a secret island? Was it a pilot's plan gone wrong? Or maybe aliens had a little detour? Drop your wildest theory in the comments below. I want to hear the craziest, most unbelievable ideas you've got. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real-life mysteries and stories before you sleep. Hit that notification bell too, because who knows what mystery we'll explore next. Now, onto the bonus material you've been dying to hear. Let's talk about some of the weirder theories surrounding MH370. First, the alien abduction theory. Considering how suddenly and completely the plane vanished, it's not surprising that some believe extraterrestrials might have a role. Proponents of this theory suggest that aliens could have used some kind of advanced technology to disable the plane's systems, or perhaps even beamed the aircraft and its occupants aboard a spaceship for an unknown purpose. Then, the remote mind control theory. Some speculate that the pilot could have been subject to some kind of remote mind control, potentially due to some experimentation gone awry. If this were the case, it could explain why the plane deviated so dramatically from its flight path, and ultimately help investigators better understand the pilot's actions. Next, the secret island scenario. Given the vastness of the ocean and the lack of concrete evidence, some believe that the plane might have landed on a previously unknown or uncharted island. This would explain why wreckage was found on remote coastlines and why the plane's main body hasn't been located. This theory suggests that the plane could have been deliberately hidden, perhaps as part of a larger conspiracy or by someone seeking to cover up the presence of the aircraft and its passengers. Finally, let's consider the forgotten memory hole theory.